Hi, first graders. Welcome back to reading class with Miss Six. Today is Tuesday, September 29th, 2020. Our objective for today says, today I will be able to make connections to the text by remembering my thoughts, feelings, and experiences. So making connections, that means we're finding the things that are the same or similar between two different things. So we're going to mainly be doing this with books, finding a connection from a book to yourself. And then throughout this week and next week, we're going to be doing books to books and books to the world. So we can think of connections kind of like these little linking things that you might have played with at school before. And they hook together because they have the same hook right there. So we're finding things that can connect. So let's first, before we jump into making connections with books, let's make connections with pictures, from the picture to yourself. So right here it says, this reminds me of. So let's look at this picture. What does this picture remind you of? You might have said, this reminds me of my football team that I played with, or this reminds me of playing football at recess, or this reminds me of being a cheerleader. This reminds me of watching football on TV. You're making a connection from the picture, something that's the same in the picture, and something that's the same in your life. Very good. All right, let's try another one. I can make a connection to this picture. Uh-oh, what's going on in this picture? There's a doctor, I think. She's wearing a coat, so I think it's a doctor. And there's a child in bed. And there's a child right there holding a little tray with food. So what can you make a connection to? What do you think is the same in this picture and something that you've thought or felt? So you might have thought about, I felt like this when I was sick last year, or I was sick this week, or I was sick last month. So you might have felt sick before, or you might have connected to this little girl right here. You could have said, I felt like this when my sister was sick and I tried to help her. Or you can say, I felt like this when I had to go to the doctor. So there are lots of different ways you can make connections. There's not one right answer, there's a lot of right answers. So how can I make connections to books? You did an awesome job making connections to the pictures, but how can you make connections to a whole book? Well, when we're reading our books, we're going to be thinking about, what are some of my thoughts that I've had before I read this book? So thinking, those are things in your mind. You can also make a connection by looking at your feelings, just like we did with this girl who's feeling sick. She might have been feeling really awful, really bad. You can make a connection to your feelings. Maybe you were feeling angry and a character in the book is feeling angry. That's a connection. It's something that's the same. Maybe you're feeling excited and a person in the book is feeling excited. That's a connection in the book, to the book. And one last way we can make connections to books are looking at our experiences. Experiences means things that you've done. So you might have been caught in a storm out in the rain. You might have been sleeping in and you slept past your alarm. That's happened to Miss Six before. Or you might have been on the computer doing your homework. Those are all things that you've done. So we have our thoughts, our feelings, and our experiences, things that we've done. So when we're making our connections to the books, I just put a sentence down here to help us. So you might say in a book, this part reminds me of. For feelings in a book, you might say, I felt like this when. Or for experiences, you can say, I remember when I. And so I'm going to give you a little more help as we're doing this. So I'm going to make a connection from one of my favorite books. This book is called Dog Breath, and we'll read it later on in the year. But Dog Breath, this page says, Halitosis had horrible breath. Whenever Halitosis opened her mouth, horrible things happened. And I can make a connection to this book because I can say, this reminds me of my dog, Trevor, who has horrible breath too. They're the same, right? They're not exactly the same, because they're two different dogs. One is a cartoon, one is a real dog, but there is a little part right there that's the same. They both have bad breath. So this is something, making connections is something we do during our reading so that we can better understand and comprehend. And it's also something we can do after reading. So yesterday we did this book, The Bad Seed, and we're going to be working on it more this week because we'll better understand it the more we read a book. So I'm going to show you how we can make our connections. This is part of your assignment. Oops. I'm a bad seed. A bad seed. That's him. He's in the bag. So we read this whole book yesterday, so you might remember it, but we're going to watch it again on your own so you can pick a page that you want to make a connection to. So Miss Six picked this page. I picked this page because I had a connection to this. I've been to a baseball game, and I actually was eating sunflower seeds at a baseball game. So I was able to understand this page because I've done it before. I experienced it before. So I picked this page, and I drew my picture from the book. There's the baseball field, a baseball bat, baseball, and the bag of sunflower seeds. So I drew my picture of the page in the book, and then I drew a picture of my experience. There's me, and I'm eating my sunflower seeds. And then I wrote my sentence to go with it. My sentence says, I remember when I ate sunflower seeds at a baseball game. Now, you might not have eaten sunflower seeds at a baseball game, and that's okay because we all have different experiences. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through, watch the read aloud, pick a page, just like how Miss Six paused it on that page, you're going to pause it on whatever page you want, and draw your picture in the first box. That's the text. And then in the second box, you're going to draw a picture of you. Maybe it's something you felt, thought, or experienced. So it's very open-ended. You're going to get to pick how you're going to do this assignment. You pick your page from the story. Let's say you pick a giant flew through the air. Like this page. Maybe you pick this page. You can draw a picture of the seed being mad. And then you're going to choose one of these three sentences right here. You can say, I remember when, just like I did, or you can say, I felt like this when, or you can say, this reminds me of, and say what it reminds you of. So you can pick one of those. So let's review the assignment. Watch the read aloud, pick a page, you're going to pause it, and then you're going to pick a sentence starter. Either this one, or this one. And then you're going to write your sentence and draw your two pictures. Picture of the page you paused it on, and a picture of you. All Miss Six needs to see is that you can pick a page, you can pick something from your life, and make that connection. There's something that's the same between the book and you. I can't wait to see your pictures and your sentences. Just try your best. I know you'll do a great job. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.